Welcome to YogiViews, where my guest is yoga itself, through interviewing those who practice it, teach it, sell it, or simply love it. I am Antonio Saucis. One of the most important features of our modern brain is related to the possibility of assigning meaning, thanks to the presence and function of the cortex, an amazing network of interconnected neurons or brain cells. When the Yoga as Therapy seminar was organized in Australia by Sri Balaratnam, his intention was to showcase the knowledge of yoga therapy to an audience that is somehow still new to it and is only starting to fully embrace the discipline as a valid and effective practice in Australia. Few months after the initial thought, Sri Bala passed away, and before he asked his successor, Bernadette Hearn, to promise him that the seminar would happen as planned. The event certainly had a different meaning under these circumstances, and she did an outstanding job fulfilling her promise and conducting the seminar with dedicated care and precision, something I'm sure would have made Sri Bala very proud. Sri Bala was a gifted human being and a serious yogi who created vibrational breath therapy, a technique based on energizing prana, or life force, through breath work, combined with the chant of cosmic vibratory healing energy of pranava Om. By meditating at the major chakras, an individual is helped to neutralize emotional traumas and tensions of this and previous births. It enhances psychic qualities and activates a process of healing. Throughout the 3 days, the presenters shared concepts and practices explaining yoga therapy in general, as well as the specific ways in which yoga can be used to enhance healing. The seminar was chaired by Professor Avni Sali, the current president of the National Institute of Integrative Medicine and a pioneer in the insertion of alternative and complementary modalities in the health panorama in Australia, who affirmed the importance of considering alternatives to Western medicine so patients can receive the best possible care when facing illness. His institute is today one of the leading research institutions in Australia and is responsible for the increasing acceptance that the medical establishment is having of yoga therapy in Australia. Dr. Rajit Rao presented his holistic approach to evaluating and treating all general urological problems, including robotic prostate surgery, laparoscopic surgery, erectile dysfunction, and laser stone and prostate surgery. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you very much.
What was your experience presenting at the seminar?
Well, I think it was a wonderfully organized meeting, wonderfully organized seminar, and it covered so many different topics. And it was beautiful to hear all the different speakers, the way they spoke about integration between the Eastern and the Western, modern and the ancient, allopathic and herbal, yogic, and to me this was a highlight.
Mm-hmm. And you being a surgeon, perhaps the holistic approach to being a surgeon is something that is challenging, or what is your experience with that?
Yeah, initially thinking of surgery, one can consider it the opposite of holistic in every way. But to me, holistic practice of surgery is bringing in the compassion and the empathy and treating the person as an individual within the context of their full being, their family, their society, culture, everything. And in terms of complementary modalities, these things can be used preoperatively, they can be used postoperatively to facilitate the recovery of the patient.
And have you find that Australians have had a good acceptance of this type of modality, or no, or is something strange to them?
No, I think in terms of the public, there is very widespread acceptance of complementary therapies. It is still taking hold within the medical sphere. There is acceptance within Western medicine. However, at the moment, complementary therapies are still on the periphery, and the time has come for complementary therapies and integration to actually become part of the mainstream establishment, and I think this is the next step. So rather than meditation, yoga being accepted but outside, it needs to be accepted but as part of all therapies.
Well, thanks for what you are doing in regards to that, and thanks for your participation in the seminar. It was wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jennifer Schrader, president of the Australian Association of Yoga Therapists, offered a synthesis of the actions and intentions of the association she presides. Dear brother in yoga, Dr. Ananda Balayogi Bhavanani, head of the International Center for Yoga Education and Research in Pondicherry, India, conducted multiple sessions offering his valuable points as someone who not only possesses a profound knowledge of yoga, but is also a medical doctor with an active practice.
Because for me, it cannot be yoga and meditation, because meditation is part of yoga for me. And nowadays you find yoga and pranayama, which again for me is like next. Well, it's never going to be yoga and asana, because the reason this happens is people think yoga is asana. So what they mean is asana and meditation, asana and pranayama, whereas yoga encompasses the whole process. The process of pranayama, the process of concentration, contemplation, taking you to a state of meditation. Meditation cannot be done. You can concentrate, you can contemplate, but meditation happens. The warm water we use in the neti, something that I advise for people with respiratory disorders. The jala neti is something I add to any patient with a sinus disorder, ENT, ear, nose, throat disorders, those who have problems with snoring and the blockage due to the back of the passages closing down as you lie down. Eye, also the neti helps, because your eye is, the lacrimal ducts drain into your nose, and if your nose is blocked, you're going to be blocking up your eyes also. Please understand, there's a natural drainage process and you are blocking that. So when you do the neti, you are cleaning your eyes, enabling the fluid secretion to occur in the eyes. You are cleaning up your sinuses. You are cleaning up your tongue, so your taste. You are cleaning up your ears, so your hearing. Eye, your smell improves, atrophic rhinitis and all those type of conditions, allergic rhinitis. Improving your sense of smell, and finally the entire sense of touch all throughout your face. In fact, all your five senses are enhanced when you do the neti. So neti is not just to clean the nose. All the five senses, the jnanendriyas, are enhanced.
His knowledge is vast and wide, always bringing the purest wisdom of yoga to the table and reminding us to keep yoga in yoga therapy, moving away from practicing yogopathy, one of his favorite terms that relates to the reductionist intention of finding a perfect asana or technique for a certain condition. True to the holistic approach to life and to the universe, yoga must acknowledge the importance of the whole being and not just the symptom to be treated. So healing is profound and lasting.
What a pleasure to be with you again and to have shared this wonderful event for Sri Bala and for the people that attended. What are your words in regards to this event?
It's wonderful that we could have such an event, because it's not often you get like-minded people together who can integrate something that is as diverse as modern medicine and yoga, and to give the respectability that yoga therapy deserves in the eyes of the medical community. Yoga and medicine both are dealing with health, both are dealing with the human being, and by integrating yoga and the medical world, we are definitely going to enhance health. So the people who came together, the presenters, the people who were there in the audience, the venue, and of course Sri Bala's blessings, they all contributed towards an integrative feeling. an integrative feeling of health and well-being.
Now, Sri Bala, you've known Sri Bala for a number of years. He was very instrumental in your spiritual upbringing, let's put it that way.
Very much.
What do you think this event meant in terms of his work?
Definitely it was the highlight of his work, I would say. He was looking forward to it, and it was his aim that in these times where many are questioning the role of alternative therapies and complementary therapies, that the role of yoga as the original mind-body medicine should reach the medical community, should reach the common man, and that the link of the breath with health, the link of the body and the mind through the breath and healthy breathing. I think his idea was that this should reach people, the message, and I believe that we have reached some of the people. And I'm sure through your work, we're going to reach even more.
And vibrational breath therapy was his particular creation, which
Yes.
in a way, if I understand correctly,
Yes.
integrated some of the teachings of your father,
Yes.
Swami Gitananda
Very
Giri,
much.
that Sri Bala received.
Very much.
Tell us a bit about this technique.
Basically, the vibrational breath therapy is based on the concept of using sound vibration, that is the pranava, the A, the U, the M. The A which vibrates the lower part, the U the middle part, and the the higher part of not just our lungs, but of the body, integrating different aspects of our reptilian complex, mammalian complex, and the neocortex, bringing together the energies of the different chakras with focus, thus enabling us to reconnect with the universe. The process of vibrational breath therapy, the procedure, the way it has been put together, codified, Sri Bala definitely codified it into the existing system. And this system is something that can, in his own words, be used as a single therapy for virtually all medical conditions. Because the original disease is the disassociation between mind and body, between us and the divine, and this helps us reunite, reconnect with our own happy and healthy self.
You were named the successor of your father at the earlier age of 4, and in a way, when he passed away, you were somehow ready to continue with his teachings. Now that Sri Bala had passed away, what do you think is the future of VBT, of vibrational breath therapy?
Basically, as far as I am concerned, my interaction with Sri Bala over the past 3 decades, the constant emails, the constant communication we had, I very much feel he considered Bernadette as his successor. This is what I feel. And I have assured her that our support from the Anand Ashram, from the Gitananda Yoga family will be there. Because he has codified it, he has taught it to people. Now what is required is for it to receive the public acclaim it deserves. And to this extent, we have done some research in the pranava, which is the component of VBT. And I'm sure that with like-minded people coming together, more research into actual VBT will sort of showcase it to the medical community. And I am definitely there with Bernadette, I am there with his family, because I believe the family should also be involved. And from the point of view of our tradition, VBT is very much part of our tradition. We support it. And next year when we have Ammaji's 70th birthday celebration, I invited Bernadette to come and give a presentation of it during that also.
That's a great way to supporting Sri Bala and VBT. Certainly on my part and on the part of YogiViews, we hope to do the best we can as well to give Sri Bala, his work and his legacy, the proper place that it has in the spiritual world. So thank you, Ananda. I have enjoyed very much seeing you again, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bernadette Hearn offered practical examples of VBT, starting and closing each day of the seminar, and also answered my questions about the meaning of this event for her, personally, and for vibrational breath therapy.
How was this for you, Bernadette? How was this event for you?
Oh, it was beautiful. I had some really beautiful moments and a great experience, and it took me out of my safety zone for a little bit, comfort zone, but I think it was really good for me. I enjoyed it.
And you, of course, have been with Sri Bala for a while. Do you think that this event is what he wanted?
Oh, yes. It's all he wanted. This was his final hurrah. He wanted to make sure that the conference went together, that people had an understanding of medicine, modern medicine and yoga therapy coming together, alternative therapies, integrative, complementary medicine, all coming together as one, and that's what he wanted to portray, that vibrational breath therapy was part of that. And he wanted to bring everybody together. So I think a union happened and it was beautiful. Yeah.
And what do you think is going to be the future of vibrational breath therapy now that Sri Bala had passed away?
We'll just continue putting the word out and doing the practices. Of course, it always starts with yourself, so I'll just continue doing my practices, and we've got teacher training programs happening, we've got meditation workshops happening. There's some interest in different yoga places wanting me to come and do some training with them, so all around Australia, as well as a few comments last night about India. So yeah, I think it's a seed that's been planted and it will continue to grow for certain.
If you were to tell us what VBT has particularly given you as an individual?
As an individual, I can't individualize it actually, because it's a shared process. I feel a connection to Sri Bala. I feel a connection to his practices, to a deeper connection to my practice. I feel whole and healed, but it's an expansion of that. It's people that I come in contact with. It's people that are training or doing vibrational breath therapy who are unwell and need some guidance and to heal themselves. So it's all about healing yourself. We heal our own selves, so our bodies heal ourselves. So yeah.
Then perhaps I know that because we have had some discussions about it, that Sri Bala was an instrumental master in your spiritual path.
Yes.
What would be a personal legacy for your path that Sri Bala left with you?
He had a deep connection to your word is your bond. Your word is your bond, and to me, we say a lot of things in the world today, and not always are they our bond. We're not bonded to them. We use language quite freely and easily without any intention behind it, without any understanding of what we're actually putting out there. So for me to have that connection, word is my bond. If something's going to be said, then say it with intention, and if that intention is there, then follow through with that intention. And if you follow through with that intention, do your best. And service to people. We are individualizing ourselves, our world that we live in, and I think if we understand that, if someone's cold and give them your jacket. In the olden days, that's what would happen. If you saw a woman that was cold, you would give them your jacket. It wasn't because I'm a man, I give you my jacket. It was because you're cold. And so I think service to our fellow human beings. If we look at someone and on the bus and they need a seat, but we don't give them a seat, and we travel on, we don't know what their life's going through. But then if you get up and you give them your seat, you could have just blessed them for the whole day. So I think service was paramount. He had a service to BBT, to his family, to the well-being of humanity, and I take that with me also.
And in a way, you are continuing with that because you are doing your service with BBT.
Yes.
So, if you were to ask the universe for something to assist you in your service, what would that be?
Openness. Openness. I wish that we were open, that people were open, instead of in this tiny little bubble that we embrace ourselves in all the time, and not letting other things in, and not opening our minds, opening our hearts. So I would ask for openness, that people were more open in their hearts, open in their minds, open in in their houses, in their homes, in their families. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bernadette, both as a reporter that can somehow help with spreading the good word and the good effects of Sri Bala's technique, and also as the executive director of the International Yoga Therapy Conference, I am personally committing myself as well to supporting you as best as I can, and I thank you for everything you've done this weekend and for everything you are planning to do in your heart, in your mind, in your wishful thinking, because it is a very noble action. I'm sure Sri Bala would be proud of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
I must say that presenting on my specialty, Yoga for Grief Relief, was a special moment at the seminar where the intellectual knowledge met the emerging spiritual needs of those who attended and were close to Sri Bala.
Because for 7 years I have been mentored by Sri Bala through email. He helped me in moments when I was low. Like Ananda's mother, he kicked me in the butt in moments when I wanted to let go of things, of my efforts to spread the good word of yoga therapy in the United States. In moments when I was high, he reminded me of the problems of the cities, of the powers that we achieve through yoga. And in doing so, in lifting me when I was down and in lowering me when I was high, he reminded me of the need for balance. And I was looking forward to meeting him today. The solution for grief comes from the spirit, not from the mind. Because the mind struggles with grief. How can the mind help us go from loving in presence to loving in absence, when for the mind what's not there is not? Why would we love something that is not? The mind struggles with grief and needs to be calmed down. The solution comes from another place. The real knowledge comes from elsewhere.
Sri Bala was one of Ananda's most important mentors, both in personal and professional life. And he composed a beautiful piece of music for Sri Bala and performed it in what, without a doubt, was one of the emotional highlights of the event.
அன்புள்ளம் கொண்டு அரணில் வாழ்ந்த அண்ணலே எங்கள் ஸ்ரீபாலா அன்புள்ளம் கொண்டு அரணில் வாழ்ந்த அண்ணலே யோகத்தினிலே உயர்ந்த தவஞானியே ஓங்கார பிரணவத்தை உணர்ந்து அழிந்தவரே நாத யோகத்தினிலே உயர்ந்த தவஞானியே ஓங்கார பிரணவத்தை உணர்ந்து அழிந்தவரே வளமுடன் வாழ்ந்திடவே திறம்பட சிறகவே வளமுடன் வாழ்ந்திடவே திறம்பட சிறகவே வாழ்த்துவாய் என்றுமே நன்றியுடன் வணங்குகின்றேன் திறம்பட திறம்பட சிறகவே வளமுடன் வாழ்ந்திடவே திறம்பட சிறகவே வாழ்த்துவாய் என்றுமே நன்றியுடன் வணங்குகின்றேன் வாழ்த்துவாய் என்றுமே நன்றியுடன் வணங்குகின்றோம் நன்றியுடன் வணங்குகின்றோம் நன்றியுடன் வணங்குகின்றோம் உள்ளம் கொண்டு அறநெறியில் வாழ்ந்த கண்ணளே எங்கள் ஸ்ரீபால
The seminar was another example of how, even though we plan things to be a certain way and with a specific meaning, they can mean something entirely different when life situations change. What was originally a seminar turned into a world tribute to Sri Bala's soul and work. He will continue to be with us through his amazing legacy. I hope you like our show today. And if you care to let me know, shoot me an email at antonio@yogiviews.com. I look forward to seeing you the next time.